is a very interesting character to play. Someone very different to myself, and I know for a fact, like, he's kind of a mysterious character, and so there is actually a lot to him that the pilot hints at, but is definitely going to be explored and fleshed out through the series, which I'm very excited about.
But you call him mysterious, but at the same time, Steven's the one that makes the decision at the end to ultimately, seems like, betray the Tomorrow People.
Mm-hmm.
John is one who's fighting to be with the Tomorrow
Sure.
People. Do you feel like he's maybe more of a quote-unquote clear-cut hero in a way? Like he's on this side of good?
He's doing his best, with his idea or his ideal view of what is best for his people, his species, the Tomorrow People. But he's a flawed character, and he faces difficult choices. And as I alluded to, there's some stuff coming up that's going to reveal some stuff about his past that the audience will, once they are aware of, they'll start understanding the character much more fully, and understand why he is the way he is.
Okay. Is it a sense of seeing the past, seeing flashbacks, or is it more of, maybe hearing stories about John?
A little of both.
Okay.
We're definitely going to be flashing back into some of the characters' histories as the series progresses, because when we meet the characters in the pilot, we're already in the midst of it, and so there are questions that you have about how did these characters meet, or how did these characters come to be living like this, which is really interesting.
Is there time to kind of go home with him, so to speak, and see, we see Steven's family life, and we see how hard it is for him to make some of the decisions based on his family. And as you just said, we're already in the middle of it with characters like John. So are there other people outside of the Tomorrow People that he even deals with at this stage in the game?
Currently, no.
Okay.
But we will look at where John came from, i.e., family and that sort of thing in the real world, as in human beings.
Right.
But also, he considers the Tomorrow People his family now, and there are scenes where it's not just John being the leader of the Tomorrow People, it's John being John around Kara, and in downtime, and him having that battle to do the right thing by his people, but then knowing that Stephen is also the key to potentially, getting out of living underground and things like that. There are definitely moments where it's just, just John.
And how much of that is maybe I see why this kid may be good for us, and yet I don't want to relinquish some of the power I have?
Yeah, I think that's always going to happen. I think that's an ego battle that I think most guys have at some point, especially.
It's a little bit heightened here.
Yeah, sure, a little bit. Especially when you're the leader and you're, not necessarily the right man for the job, but you're the man that's had to step up into that role because the actual leader has mysteriously disappeared.
And how worried is John about the rogue Tomorrow People? Because if he's already, worried about what Jedediah and Ultra are doing, then you also have people of your own kind who are not helping your case.
Yeah.
So what is his, stance, or what kind of action would he take against those types of people?
Well, it's like he does the best he can. If he has, they definitely the breakouts, as we call them.
Right.
The humans that are developing the extra powers and becoming Tomorrow People. We try and track as many of them down as possible, and if possible, we bring them in and we train them and we educate them about what's going on and that they're not crazy. But of course, there are going to be breakouts that we can't control or have different powers or whatever, and so it's just that thing of do the best you can, but there are always going to be strays or rogues, but that's part of the humanity of the Tomorrow People, because ideally they want to protect everyone, but they know that they can't.
Right.
John and Stephen clearly butt heads in the pilot, and they try and get through to him. But understandably, if you were told that you're a superhero or something, you'd go, of course you wouldn't go, oh yeah, okay, I accept that. Especially when you're a teenager. So I think there's a level of understanding, but once he chooses to go that way, I think there's a sense, especially going into episode 2 and 3, that Jon's like, well, he's made his choice. I can't control him. I can't make him do anything.
So there's no next step for Jon to like try to win him back over necessarily.
I think that's where there's more people come into conflict, because I mean, obviously Kara will still have the connection and still want to be able to help him as much as possible. And for Jon, it's almost wiping his hands and saying, look, we've done what we can. If we pursue him any further, we're endangering the rest of us. And we're not about being heroes for one person. We're about saving the majority.
Okay, so make your case for why Jon is correct, for why Steven should be listening to him and his ways.
Well, here's the interesting thing. I don't know that Jon is correct. Jon will definitely go on a little bit of a journey in terms of the way he sees things, and he may, in a not too distant future, realize that not that he's on the wrong path, but that he may just need to adjust to the way he sees things a little bit.
Okay, fair enough.